family, to our monthly GRCAM virtual interactive conference. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. I need you all to do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and share this audio podcast on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and any other social media that you are on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This audio podcast is available in three forms: audio, video, and as a written text. Available on our Medium transcript located in the comment section on my YouTube page. In order to gain the best experience from this presentation, I encourage all of my listeners to scroll down to the comment section below this audio podcast and click on my Medium transcript so that you can follow along with this presentation. If you are serious about doing business with me, then send me your email address to my Facebook backup page through Facebook Messenger and leave it in the inbox. I will email you everything I do online. Other sites such as LinkedIn or X, just send me a message to my inbox. We host our monthly virtual interactive conference every last Saturday of the month until we are able to raise the funds for our film project. Quote, Hood Liberator, made in Chicago. The war against Willie Lynch begins. This is a solution-based docudrama based on my experience growing up in the inner cities of Chicago and the purpose why I created the grassroots community activist movement. This is our Black Panther moment, except it's not owned by Disney, it's owned by GRCAM members. We are using crowdfunding such as GoFundMe and PayPal Giving Fund so that everyone knows exactly where the funds will be going. The donations will help with our marketing campaign, production, and legal expenses to market this docudrama. Our goal is to raise $250,000. If you are a U.S. citizen, then I recommend that you don't donate through our PayPal Giving Fund because you can use that as a tax write off because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, faith based, and community advocacy organization. Some of my critics ask me, what is the purpose of this docudrama? I explained to them that I am trying to reach the Black masses and the Black world to let them know who we are and what we're trying to do for our people who are trapped in American ghettos. I explained to them that I have been reaching out to Black Americans, specifically Black Chicagoans, online and in real life for the past 33 years, and yet I still have little to no support for what I'm doing. All I have is my revised book, my virtual store, my online groups, and this platform. This film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group, Black Americans, before I cut and run to Africa. Since Black Americans are acting funny style with me, I decided to reach out to African immigrants within the United States of America from 10 African nations. They are as follows: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. All I'm asking is for them to please do me a favor, purchase my revised book. Quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. It's available on Amazon. The ebook is $9.99, or the softcover book is $15 plus shipping and handling. I don't want you to just buy the book. I want you to read my story for yourself. Bottom line. And, if you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, then make yourself known to me. I provide my email address in the book. My book is, I'm thinking of it as a tool to recruit um, people that's on business, such as myself. That's all I'm trying to reach. as well as Black Americans. I'm still reaching out to my fellow Black Americans because, after all, this business is for them. I'm trying to do something positive for my people before I cut and run to Africa. Um, I provide the link in the comment section below this audio podcast. And again, if you agree with my vision and plan, I would like to hear from you. Make arrangements with me to come on this platform, get on camera, and let's talk about it and encourage others to get behind this film project. Those of you who will support our film project will go down in history with me and Sister Renee. Here, here's some background about my Christian business, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. I created GRCAM back in 1991 on a site called Gopher to connect with like-minded Black Americans, like-minded Afro-Brazilians, like-minded Afro Latinos, like-minded Afro-Caribbeans, and like-minded African immigrants to help raise awareness about the genocide which is taking place within our inner cities in America, starting in Chicago. I want us to make our presence known in the African American community as well as in the African immigrant community by us, meaning GRCAM members, to build the Chi of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. And the purpose or objective for us to heal collectively from the scars of slavery and colonizations, for Black Americans to heal from this slave mentality, which is also known as Willie Lynch, and for African immigrants to heal from the colonized mindset. Once we get this film project fully funded and made, then once the proceeds from the film starts pouring in, that will put me in a better position financially so that I can purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle class professionals, and qualified African immigrants in America. I am called by my Lord and Savior, Jesus/Yahshua, to rebuild our inner cities in America, starting in Chicago, similar to that of Nehemiah, who was called by God to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Nehemiah used qualified engineers, architects, and inventors to rebuild a new city. We are seeking qualified Black middle class professionals and qualified African immigrants in the following areas: Black attorneys, African attorneys, investors, business partners, Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and philanthropists. We're also looking for legitimate artists such as film directors, producers, actors, stage managers, professional fundraisers, technical directors, and marketers from across the United States of America. Because check this out, I'm not going to sit up here and twiddle my thumbs and just watch my people just perish. you know I've been, like I say, I've been pushing this for 33 years. I come with receipts and I can back up everything I say to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I wrote my story. My story is, or my revised book is, my credibility. This platform is my credibility. And those that think that this is a scam, then my suggestion to you is delete me off your friends list. Do not come to no events with my name on it, and stand on that. Don't change your mind. Because I want to make sure we do away with these off-code Negroes and naysayers. I don't want those type of people in my business, and that's real. GRCAM Chicago will offer an interactive space for Black Americans, African immigrants, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Latinos, and Afro-Caribbeans, all Christian denominations, Black millennials, and Generation um, Z. Non-Black sympathizers, um, pending on where they stand as it pertains to lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves/freemen. The County of Chicago will provide quality programs and services to benefit the African American community and the African immigrant community. Our mission to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, and hosting African and Caribbean tours. We will promote economic opportunities in the African American community and within the African immigrant community by being an advocate and an economic base. We will offer different membership levels: basic membership, networking membership, and entrepreneur membership. The Chi of Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility consisting of a nonprofit sector and a for-profit sector operating under 9 functions under one roof within um, the organization. They are as follows: a social service component, a spiritual component, which will be optional for secular people, a political component, an entertainment component, an entrepreneur component, a health and wellness component, a Black grassroots component, science and technology component, and travel and tourism components. Under the for-profit service business, which will be known as the red zone, um, that's where I'm going to make my bread and butter. We will offer state-of-the-art recreational center, which will have bowling, high ropes adventures, captivating game rooms featuring the latest video and amusements, stylish billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurants, various businesses, on-site childcare, and an on-site music re- recording studio for our members and students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family-friendly activities, including combination deals, birthday parties, wedding and corporate parties, and events. We will practice group economics in real time by pooling our resources together in order to create and control our own community grocery store, community healthcare center, and community housing. This will be group economics in action. We will also offer rental space for our members who have a startup and that went through our programs. Under the nonprofit cooperative, that will be known as the Green Zone. The Chi of Chicago will be governed by an advisory board. The Chi of Chicago will be membership based because, again, I've been reaching out to, I would say Black organizations, even the Black churches. But like I say, everybody, this is my experience that I come across. A majority of them tell me they're not interested, and some people, they're all about themselves. Hey, I got mine, you get. I got mine, you get yours. That's the type of slave mentality that's going on, and this is how come Black people or Black Americans are still, stuck behind, and that's why all these other groups that come over here, they can get ahead of us because we are off code. All of the principles in my revised book is the code for GRCAM members. Um, Purchase my revised book. I encourage everyone that's listening, all my people that's on my friends list, and all of my group members. Please purchase my revised book, and you will become an ally. But in order to really become a GRCAM member, then we gotta build this business so that way we can make our presence known in the African American community for people to have a physical building to come to. Because right now I'm only online, and I want to be more than just online. I'm paying out of pocket. I've been paying for this business title since 2010. You know, And at first, it was going to be a for-profit type of business. I was focusing on that area, but unfortunately, I was unable to get investors. So back in 2019, I switched it over to a nonprofit. Again, I'm paying out of pocket. I have to pay the city, state, and the IRS out of pocket. And and I feel like yes, I am wasting money, but I'm looking at it as I'm trying to invest in our people that want more out of life. And again, this is why I'm doing these virtual conferences. I'm not interested in writing more books. I'm interested in creating legitimate businesses so we can employ Black people, give our Black youth an opportunity to have a Black job, give Africans African jobs. That's what I'm on. So Grattan Chicago will be membership based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. Also, any earnings we make are returned to our members in the forms of lower prices through our quality programs and services. We will assist our members with their utility bills pending on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer like groceries through our food pantries and free tutorial services for Black youth, African youth, and their families. Our objective is to build the best African American business within the United States of America. Grassroots Chicago, in Grassroots Chicago, we will learn how to work together, build businesses, relationships, learn about each other's cultures for credibility before we replicate the business to 10 African nations, as mentioned above. I'm trying to use this technology and social media to help spread my vision to those who will listen. My vision for Africa to reconnect with our ancestral homeland. We will go through the proper channels with each African government to start our NGO, nonprofit, non government organization. We will offer employment to our members based on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer, will give stipends to our Black youth that's going to be in our Black empowerment films. Same thing with our African youth. We will focus on improving Africa's infrastructure for clean running water, agricultural technology to feed the people, offer solar energy to help our members with their electric generators, and most of all, help improve the African economy in exchange for dual citizenship. State of Chicago will promote Black economic empowerment on a domestic front and also on an international front. We will bring the best of the diaspora to each African nation so that we can set up local chapters and do international trade among our people and GRCAM members. We will reconnect Black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, Black artists with African artists. The Town of Chicago will help benefit Africa because we will form an alliance with African immigrants that's here in the United States of America. And they're going to vouch for my character because they're the ones that's going to work for the business. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to be wasting time trying to explain who I am. They're going to advocate vouch for my character, and my business is going to speak for itself. In each African nation we will visit, we will match. Oh, okay. I already said that. So, all right. So just bear with me. The objective is to unite middle class, working class, underclass Africans with the diaspora and vice versa. CAM members will build the best African American business within the United States of America with God's help. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and in America, the sooner we can get the business up and running, and I can expand. I can turn the business over to qualified people that's going to help manage the business without me being present, because I want to expand it to the African continent and work with Africans that want more out of life. And I want to prove to Africans that I mean business, because our first African nation will be South Africa. I feel led to go there. Second film I'm going to shoot there, and the sequel is called African Liberator. Go against the colonized mindset. I'm also going to apply for dual citizenship so that way Native Africans can take me serious. I created my online talk show, Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, to give people on my friends list who are artists, comedians, fashion designers, filmmakers, models, musicians, poets, gospel singers, spiritual leaders, and upcoming entrepreneurs an opportunity to promote their products and services to my listeners from the global community. I've proven my commitment throughout the years. Again, 33 years, I've been standing on business. It's unfortunately that Black America want to take me for a joke, but hey, this is why I'm pushing hard as I can to get my message out there. And again, I call upon brave and smart, um, like-minded Black Americans, brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants within the United States of America. Make yourself known to me, because I got my book out there. I have this platform. So make yourself known to me. Don't wait until I'm dead. Work with me while I'm alive. That's real talk. In my business, I will be sharing the word of God and ministering for his glory and for his manifestation. God is faithful and he shall be glorified in this business. I am on a mission from God to share my plan and vision to those who will listen. The GRCAM members will take the lead in turning around our inner cities in America and in due time in the slums of Africa if given a chance. In my business, we will have open rewards for those who are doing good things. For example, Sister Renee has been working with me behind the scenes for the past 13 years. Before I cut and run to Africa, I want to make sure that Sister Renee will be well taken care of. Um, I want to make sure that we uh, set up a local chapter in West Memphis, Arkansas, dedicated to her, because that's my appreciation, for what she's been doing. I wish I could meet more other sisters, just like Sister Renee, and brothers that have the same kind of spirit as Sister Renee to work with me. Don't wait until I, start making money and blow up. Work with me right now while I'm still small. Those that want to come around me when I start making money, ain't nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna have to fall in line, follow protocol. It is what it is. I can't pass down my business to my family because the majority of my family is full of Willie Lynch. And over here, we're about separating ourselves from those that's full of Willie Lynch. And that's just how it is. So I'm only going to pass down the business to GRCAM members. So that's why I want to get it popping here in America first. And I want to pass the business down to GRCAM members. This is my gift to my members. In order to be a GRCAM member, you purchase the book and read my story. And, you have to be in agreement with that vision. That's all I'm saying. We will offer We will also offer fun things for our youth. For example, Christian spoken word versus secular spoken word. Those who overflow the best will win $500 in cash. So, I'm just letting people know, we're not just going to be just sitting up here running off at the mouth. We're going to do several different things at one time. We want to solve the issues, we want to heal, and most of all, we got to learn how to trust each other. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that none of my members never have to endure such foolishness that I went through just for trying to do something positive in the Black community. It's not cool at all. So that's how come I'm creating this business. I want to make sure that in my business, we're going to raise the bar in Black America. Again, there will be protocol to put in place to separate ourselves from con artists, Black Boule, degenerates, Democratic shields, hardened criminals, pedophiles, off code Negroes, and urban terrorists. All of the principles in my revised book is the code for GRCAM members. Those who are not part of us, we will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. That's just how we're going to get down. Because, life is too short. We will also offer consequences to those who may try to undermine or steal funds from the business by posting their name, photo ID, and address on our Judas list for all members to see and excommunicate with them. We may also take legal action against such persons. This is how I get down, and they will be barred for life. I'm not playing about this thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a Nehemiah assignment. Again, I don't operate like the next black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. I'm not here for people to like me. If you don't like me, it is what it is. But you will respect me because I respect everybody else. Now, if you step to me with a funky attitude, you're not going to be in my business. That's all to it. And I can show you better than I can tell you. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and made, the sooner we can start building Gurkai of Chicago. Now, again, I just want to mention to my listeners that, especially my Christian friends, please pray for me as it pertains to my GoFundMe page. I'm still waiting on representatives to get back with me, you know, because all I wanted to do was update my GoFundMe page, for this year. Got all my documentations and everything, but they asked for my photo ID and I sent them several pictures and they keep saying it's blurry. And then I asked them, well, can you do a video call with me and you could take the picture yourself? So it's little janky little stuff like that. But again, this is spiritual warfare in real time. So pray for me that my GoFundMe page will get straightened out so that way I can be posting that as well. Because again, through our PayPal giving fund, it's only limited to $10,000. Again, our goal is to raise 250,000 for this film project to make a quality film. That's all. I call upon Black filmmakers and African filmmakers within the United States of America to stand up and make yourself known to me. I call upon Black millennials and Generation Z to read my revised book and get behind this film project. After all, this Christian business is my gift to you and your family. Again, the sooner we get this film project fully funded and made and get this business established in Chicago, the sooner I can turn the business over and expand the business to Africa. All upon all of my international friends in my African group, Gakai of Africa. Even if you are unable to participate in this event, please watch the replay, leave a public comment about it on my YouTube page, and share it with all your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I call upon all of my Christian friends in my Christian groups, Light of the World Inspirational Group and Christian Spoken Word Network. Even if you are unable to participate in this event, please watch the replay, leave a public comment about the topic on my YouTube page, and share it with all your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I call upon all of my supporters in my secular groups, Gakai of Chicago, New Black Voices of Media, etc. Even if you are unable to participate in this event, please watch the replay. Leave a public comment about the topic on my YouTube page and share it with all your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Instructions on how to participate on this, I would say, conference. First, watch Sorry. First, listen to my presentation. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will turn the show over to my panelists so that they can express their views about the topic. Once they're done, then I will open up the phone lines through YouTube and drop the link to StreamYard so that you can interact with me in real time on camera. This is called Side B. If for some reason I am unable to drop the link, then I encourage all of my listeners to leave a public comment in the comment section below this audio podcast. If you on my backup Facebook page, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform if you want to promote your business or your ministry. And leave me your email address so that way I can email you everything that I do online. Again, I'm not here for entertainment. This is a call to action. The title of this presentation, When the West Side Burned, a Chicago Stories documentary. And before I go into that, again, I want us to be creating our own document or docudramas. And in this business, I want to teach our students to write their stories and for them to, turn their stories into books and for us to turn those books into films because everybody has a story to tell. So over here, we're going to promote you, especially if you're GRCAM member or student. And I'm gonna do this in my real business too once we get GRCAI up and running. Still have a platform like this, and just try to be reaching out to the global community. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on our second live stream of 2025. We're always talking about Black ownership, Black excellence, all of these different things on other people's platforms. That's why it's important that people on my friends list, people in my social groups, and our listeners from around the globe to support what we're trying to do. Help get my revised book on that bestsellers list so that way the Black world can take us serious and donate what you can towards our film project. I'm still trying, again, I'm just doing the best that I can, bottom line. Basically, this documentary was about the Chicago fire, which took place in my city after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. decided to come to Chicago in order to expose racial disparities in northern cities like Chicago, which gave rise to institutionalized racism in housing. Mayor Daley Sr. did not want Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to expose the housing segregation within the Black ghettos. But Dr. King Jr. shared his experience in the media. I remember back when I was in high school, um, Mayor Daley, which is his son, used to give Black Americans free cheese if they voted for him. And unfortunately, my mom was one of those participants, and that's one of the reasons why um, when I turned 18, I became a Democrat because, I didn't know no better. It was just like, hey, stick with the Democrats because they help sign the civil rights bill and all that's good stuff. But as I got older and did my own research, they didn't do it willingly. They were forced to sign the civil rights, bill because of all of our people was out there stumping hard, for justice, being treated as fourth and fifth class citizens in a first world country. That's not cool at all. But Oh, okay. And so Mayor Daley Jr., he was in office just like his father for 20 years. All you got to do is give black Americans some free cheese, and hey, shoot, they're gonna vote for you for 20 years. Unfortunately, this documentary illustrates how Black Americans resisted this practice despite racism, redlining, and re- um, I think it's pronounced reconstructive covenants, restrictive covenants. This happened back in 1968 and it's still happening. And it's not limited to just housing, but also employment, healthcare, education, criminal justice, and the media and religion. After the murder of Dr. King Jr., rioting and looting followed, with people flooding out into the streets of major cities, resulting in roughly $50 million in damages across the United States of America. While Dr. King Jr. was in Chicago, he said, quote, I've been in many demonstrations all across the South, but I can say that I have never seen, even in Mississippi and Alabama, mobs as hostile and as hate filled as I'm seeing in Chicago, unquote. Yeah, the racism is real, and it still goes on to this day. Of the 39 people who died in the nationwide disturbance, 34 were black. Chicago, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. experienced some of the worst riots following King's assassination. In Chicago itself, more than 48 hours of rioting left 11 Chicago citizens dead, 48 wounded by police gunfire, 90 policemen injured, and 2,150 people arrested. 3 miles of Garfield Park and West Garfield Park on West Madison Street were left in a state of rubble. That same year, the Democratic National Convention was held in Chicago, a place for political protests and clashes with law enforcement. On April 5th, 1968, violence sparked on the west side of Chicago, gradually expanding to consume a 28-block stretch of West Madison Street and leading to additional damages on Roosevelt Road. The Austin and Lawndale neighborhoods on the west side and the Woodlawn neighborhoods on the south side experienced the majority of the destruction chaos. The rioters broke windows, looted stores, and set buildings on fire. There were 36 major fires reported. Mayor Richard J. Daley Sr. imposed a curfew on anyone under the age of 21, closed the streets to traffic, and halt the sale of guns. Approximately 10,000 police were sent in, and by April 6th, more than 6,000 Illinois National Guard troops had arrived in Chicago, with five 5,000 soldiers ordered into the city by President Johnson. The general in charge declared that no one was allowed to have gatherings in the riot areas and authorized the use of tear gas. Mayor Richard J. Daley Sr. gave police the authority, quote, shoot, quote, to shoot to kill any arsonist or anyone looting any stores in our city, unquote. The South Side had escaped the, the major chaos because of the two largest street gangs at that time. The Blackstones and the Black Disciples cooperated to control their neighborhoods. Federal troopers were requested to restore order, and the president invoked the Insurrection Act of 1807 on April 7th. Rumors started to circulate that the riot had been organized by Black Panther activists, and on April 10th, the Chicago Tribune newspaper claimed that, quote, Black power groups, unquote, had been the driving force behind the violence through a conspiracy, quote, conspiracy to riot, unquote. But no evidence was produced to support their argument that it was a planned riot. During the summer of 1968, Mayor Richard J. Daley Sr. appointed the Chicago Riot Studies Committee. The committee was led by judges, business leaders, lawyers, and politicians. The committee interviewed hundreds of Black residents and white business owners in the area, as well as police officers, firefighters, and local activists, but no evidence of a conspiracy was produced. The final riot study concluded, quote, some of the rioters may have discussed specific acts of violence, but for the majority of Blacks, the riot was a spontaneous overflow of pent up aggression, unquote. The committee also concluded that the majority of rioters were high school students who took their frustration out on white business owners. The rioters result in over 125 fires and 210 buildings being damaged, totaling $10 million in damages. Power lines and telephone lines all across the city were knocked out in the first 2 days of rioting. Police report multiple civilian deaths, but were unable to determine whether they were caused by the riots or other crimes. No official death toll was given for the rioters, although published accounts say 9 to 11 people died as a result. Over 2,000 people were arrested, and a thousand people were left homeless. The destruction was mostly on the west side. Following the riot, Chicago experienced a food shortage, and the city's needs were barely met by volunteers bringing food to the area. Result of the riots include the increase in pace of the area's ongoing deindustrialization and public and private disinvestment. Bull, bulldozers moved in to clean up the aftermath, leaving behind vacant lots, many of which remain today. Back in the 90s, I was a college student at Northeastern Illinois University, and my major was social work. I learned that during the 1900s, many Black Americans faced white mob violence during the Great Migrate, quote, Great Migration, unquote, referred to the largest scale movement of Black Americans from the rural South to urban areas in the North and Midwest between 1916, which is considered the first wave, and 1970, considered the second wave. Driven by poor economic conditions, racial discrimination, and the promise of better opportunities in northern cities, this migration significantly changed the demographics of both regions. The white supremacist financial elites use certain methods to keep Black Americans locked out of certain neighborhoods or communities. They use racial covenants in real estate. This is where you will see racial language. For example, Caucasian only, Aryans only, no Negroes. 100% were aimed at Black Americans. As I have mentioned many times before, we are always segregated and sabotaged because we are in a system of white supremacy. The white supremacist financial elites practice systematic racism in areas such as the economy, education, healthcare, religion, art and entertainment, media, and government. Racial covenants gave rise to residential segregation. In the United States of America, racism has a very long track record. The white supremacist financial elites created the laws on the books and in the courts to discourage Black Americans from moving into white neighborhoods. For example, they started out as private property developers, but eventually you have the federal government encouraging these racial covenants due to eminent domain. What is eminent domain? That's the power of the government to take private property for public use. It's also known as land acquisitions or compulsory purchase. This is how so many Black Americans lost their land because once again, we are targeted. Our neighborhoods claiming they need to build trains or highways, but very seldom do they do the same thing to white neighborhoods. After all, the foundation of America is anti-Black racism before the Constitution was written. When you can um, when you can covenant entire areas of the city, it makes it off limits. I learned from my class that the mapping prejudice project at the University of Minnesota had documented a widespread use of race-based re- restriction buried in deeds of homes. The research offers some answers to as to why Minnesota's had some of the worst racial disparities in the nation. After 1910, racial restrictions were embedded in these property deeds. The, the racial covenants tell you who can or cannot live, lease, or even occupy certain spaces. From my understanding, racial re- restrictive covenants were private contracts between individuals that allowed them to dictate to whom they sell their property. The only way to find racial covenants was to read warranty deeds. The Supreme Court even held that restrictive covenants were constitutional. Many of these neighborhood associations were behind these racial covenants and racial housing discriminations. The Housing Act was passed in 1934. It established destinations for neighborhoods based on the occupants of those neighborhoods. This is where the term redlining comes into play. The FHA, they made color code maps of all the largest cities in the United States, and they broke cities down into four different areas. Red is considered hazardous. That's the worst. Yellow is considered declining. Blue is considered desirable. And green is considered the best. They believed people who lived in the red zone were predominantly Black and brown people, and immigrants who may default on loans was enough to be red line. People who live in those areas also pay higher insurance. Racial covenants aren't just about discriminating against Black Americans, it's about enriching white Americans. I talk about this in my revised book. For example, if you live in an affluent white neighborhood, that home and property could be worth as much as $500,000. In contrast, if you live in the Black ghetto as a renter and the area is redlined and subsequently near a freeway, you're not going to inherit anything. The practice of redlining spread racial covenants across the United States of America. This set the stage and enabled all the subsequent system of racial inequality. This myth that northern states never had segregation is a lie. Racial covenants did the work of Jim Crow, but it was subtle. The banks use planning maps to define which places receive mortgages and which places don't receive mortgages. They were going to give you substandard housing while they're containing you in the black ghettos. Access to affordable housing was a challenge. When you think about the reason behind the creation of public housing, you had a lot of black Americans forced into low skilled jobs. I believe that was the creation of public housing. They have um, strategized manufactured urban poverty. These restrictive covenants have laid the foundation of a continual denial of equality for Black Americans by virtue of these private contracts. These riots tell us something about the deep and abetting frustration and sense of rage that exists in the Black ghettos of America. There are compelling problems of social injustice and unfairness in employment, housing, and education. The Fair Housing Act makes it illegal to discriminate based on race, age. Later, they added gender and disability, and to ensure that everyone had equal access to housing where they so choose. When you don't have economic mobility to make choices, fair housing doesn't look very fair. Mythology, culture of poverty, the system was rigged from the get go. Racial covenants show us how the term of laying the groundwork for those man- manifestations of racism. It's important to talk about the history of the African American community and figure out what worked and implement some new approaches today. We are talking about people's lives, their values, and their humanity. Found an article in Fortune magazine entitled, quote, a Zoom call of 44,000 Black women raised $1.5 million for Kamala Harris in 3 hours. We're ready, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comments section below this audio podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. If only Black women would use the same energy they used to help raise funds for the Democrats to help raise 250,000 for our film project, then we will see an impact within the African American community starting in Chicago. I found a TikTok video of an Asian man who said that African Americans hold $1 trillion as a collective. To watch the video clip, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comments section below this audio podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove and select Asian ally. My message is not for all Black Americans. Again, I am about separating ourselves from naysayers and negative people who we reject the N word. Our motto is intelligence over ignorance. I found another article from The Guardian entitled, quote, median wealth of Black Americans will fall to zero by 2053, unquote, warns news report, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comments section below this audio podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. I predict if Black Americans fail to embrace my vision and plan by 2045, Black Americans as a collective will become a permanent underclass in America. It is what it is. So now that article from The Guardian, they're saying 2053, but I'm saying it's going to be before that. So we'll see who's right. Let's see if we, but again, that's how come I'm trying to create this business so that way we can heal and we're going to declare war on this slave mentality as well as that colonized mindset because that's the main thing we got to break away from the scars of slavery so we can compete as a group, a racial group, because all these other groups, they're on hold. And this is how come Black people worldwide is being treated like second class citizens. Unfortunately, even in Africa, South Africa, my goodness, man. I mean, the former colonizers, they still have, I'd say like 80% of the land, and they only 10% of the population. So that's why I want to bring that Black American energy over there first, educate our peoples, help us come out of this, you know, um, colonized mindset, um, slave mentality, and reclaim what belongs to us. The continent belongs to melanated people. We got to check those white supremacists that's over there bugging. They can have America. I don't care. I just want my birthright, which is my ancestral homeland, Africa. But again, before I go to Africa, I want to make sure that I will be able to sustain myself. That's why I want to do a business here in America first. Because I don't want to go to Africa and barely making it and have to come back here. When I come to Africa, I want to make sure that I'm in a better position where I can offer employment to GRCAM members and other Black Africans that want to be a part of us. This is what I want to do, and work with people that want more out of life. Um, this is why I am unable to just up and leave America. My assignment is to connect with other like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants within the United States of America to work with me first and encourage encouraging them, my listeners, people in my on my friends list, people that's in my social groups, to purchase my book and read my story. Help get my revised book on that bestsellers list. Again, all I have is my revised book and my virtual store. Again, the white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my revised book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying items from my virtual store. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to the film project. That's a personal choice. And far as I'm concerned, that's that slave mentality. Majority of Black Americans I run across, even in my family, they don't want to see me have a successful um, Christian business. They want me to get a quote. They tell me to get a quote unquote, a real job. That means working for the man. Like I ain't trying to hear that mess. I'm gonna try to start my own business. Yes, that's why I wrote the book. You know what I'm saying? That's not asking for no handout. I'm selling ideas. Unfortunately, the dope man, he got more support from the African American community than me. And now he's lacing his street drugs with fentanyl. Over here, I sell ideas, not pipe dreams. It is what it is. But mark my words, once the Lord connect me with the right people, the people that have the means to, you know, uh invest in, my business in terms of the for-profit type side of the business. People that will donate to the film project, people that will help get this book on that bestsellers list, then I would be put in a better position financially to do all this stuff I talk about. So again, this is why I created this platform, not to just be sitting up here running off at the mouth. I got something positive to offer that no Black leader has in America. And that's a solution to solve all of our problems in Black America if given a chance. Here's what it is, though. Um, Again, yes, this is why my business is going to be membership based. GRCAM members will have to build GRCAI of Chicago. You know, GRCAI of Chicago will become an economic base for both the African American community and the African immigrant community. But without support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my job. If we lose Africa to the white supremacist financial elites, then we will lose everything. The majority of Black Americans have become Americanized and have adopted this type of narcissist attitude. They care less about the African American community, let alone our Black youth. Recall Chicago will offer a second chance program for street people such as ex offenders of nonviolent crimes, former gang members, and homeless individuals within the community. We're going to, to the second phase of this virtual interactive conference known as Side B, which is Q&A. So, with that being said, I'm going to be looking out for people that's was interested in being on my panel for and give them an opportunity to share their opinions. And I want each person to, introduce themselves, tell my listeners a little bit about yourself, your business, or your ministry, and then 10 minutes even to talk about this documentary. And again, reason why we're focusing on this documentary because this is where we want to bring the Kai of Chicago to. First, on the west side of Chicago, Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. Now, the reason why is because I used to live in Austin. Also, I used to live in Little Italy near the UIC, and that's where I was trying to get my business popping there. But unfortunately, Black Americans, Black Chicagoans, took me for joke, and as a result, the community has become gentrified. No Black people live over there now. It is what it is. So I'm doing the best I can with what I have, the knowledge. And again, I want to not just sit up here and just, be like, hey, I told you so. My thing is, I just want to work with people that want more out of life. Bottom line, separate ourselves from people that just want to play games and complain and don't want to do anything constructive. Yeah, anybody can sit up here and burn down their neighborhoods, but when you do that, that's that's not too bright because then you got to go outside of your community and you also spending your money to enrich somebody else's community. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's not easy in situations like this, but in my business, I want us to have a different mindset in terms of we want to build things, use our minds, um, use our natural talents. And I'm putting my reputation on the line. You know what I'm saying? Trying to build the best African American business within the United States of America, if given a chance. But again, with that being said, I want you all to come on here and let's hear um, your thoughts and suggestions and all that stuff. But bottom line, reason I only host these type of virtual interactive conferences once a month is to interact with people that's on my friends list, interact with people that's um, in my social groups, and to interact with my listeners. That's all I'm trying to do. and for you all to help turn my ideas into a reality. I'm not running for public office. And I'm just going to put this out here too. Let's say, for example, our time runs out. Um, then I would send people, the link. We'll start it over the virtual interactive conference until everybody that's interested in that want to participate on this panel for you all to be heard loud and clear. That's how we're gonna do it. So I keep, sending you a link, if we run out of time until everybody's able to speak. I want to give everybody opportunity, right? With that being said, we've opening up the phone lines now, first for my panelists, and then anyone else that want to come on here. Let's make that happen.